Hey, hello guys, Adobe XD January update is here and it comes with these three really cool new features, which are the Auto-Animate for dash gap and pattern, the new view options for Adobe XD mobile apps, and the CC library improvements. Hey, and without any more delay, let's take a look at these three cool features. Let's start with the Auto-Animate for dash gap and patterns. Okay guys, I created this fictional app so it will help you to understand a little bit more about the new feature and you can actually follow along and learn while we do it, okay? We're gonna select the first element that we have right here, which is the first profile, and we're gonna double click it and we're gonna add a border option. In the border option, we're gonna change the size to something like 5. We're gonna add a gap option of 1000. We're gonna press enter. When we add the dash option, it looks like it went away, but let's add color first to show you something. If I select green as a color and we actually zoom a little bit, you will see a green little dot right here. You can barely see it, but it's there. I kind of don't like that too much, so I would just select the border options and reduce all the opacity to 0, so we don't have that issue when you're prototyping. Let's press option and shift while selecting the top of the artboard, and we're gonna drag it to make a copy of it. In this next copy of the artboard that we have, we're gonna change this text and we're gonna write something that says profile. After creating the profile, we're gonna change the size to something like 35. That'll be fine. And we're gonna select these elements and we're gonna drag them down so we can barely see them at the top. Something like that, and we're gonna reduce the opacity of them to 0. Okay, we're gonna select this first profile that we have right here, guys, and we're gonna press shift while we drag here at the corner so we can keep the proportions of the scaling to something like, I think something like 190 will be fine. 190 by 129, that will be fine. And we're gonna try to align it to the center of the artboard. Let's add the button that I create that it says hire me underneath, so we have a better view of the actual profile. You know what, I changed my mind. Let's put a little bit lower, and this can be a way bigger. So pressing option and shift, you can scale from the center while pressing both of them, and you're gonna have something like that. It went a little bit to the side with this. Let me try to align this again. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna click again the profile, and we're gonna resize the image a little bit to make it kind of bigger and try to center him more in the picture. Something like that will be fine. And we're gonna click it again 2 times, and we're gonna go to the size options and we're gonna change it to 10. And the dash is gonna be 1000. It was 0. We're gonna change it to 1000. We're gonna change the border options and we're gonna increase it to 100, the opacity, so we can see it now. After we do that, we're gonna go to the prototype mode. We're gonna change let me change the name of the artboard so you can see now. I'm gonna label it stroke animation. We're gonna go to the prototype mode and we're gonna select our first profile and we're gonna link it to the second artboard, which is the stroke animation. So in the option, we're gonna go to tab. We're gonna click tab. In the type, it's gonna be Auto-Animate to use the feature, and it's gonna be the artboard that we name stroke animation. We're gonna use ease in and out with a duration of 1 second. Let's take a look at the app now. As you can see, if you click here, we can take a look at the app. As you can see, let me put it separated so you can see better. As you can see, when we click the element, it does that animation and it pops the profile. Let me try to show it again. We click it and it does that circle animation at the background that it looks really cool. But we can take this a step further. Let me show you how. We're gonna go back to our design. We're gonna go to the design mode instead of the prototype, and we're gonna take this stroke animation artboard that we have, and we're gonna press option shift, and we're gonna drag it to the side so we can have a copy of it, and we're gonna name it time loop. Okay, in this new artboard that we have called time loop, what we're gonna do now is take the same profile picture and we're gonna change the size from 10 to 15. Okay, after we have it in 15, what we're gonna do is going back to the prototype mode. We're gonna select the stroke animation artboard that we have, and we're gonna link the artboards together. Nothing in particular. You're gonna select this handle that you're gonna have right here, and you're gonna link it to the other artboard, and you're gonna use the trigger of time instead of tap, and it's gonna have a delay. Let's have a delay of 0.2 seconds. It's gonna be to the new artboard called time loop, and it's gonna be easy in and out with a duration of 1.5 seconds. And let's do the same thing with the other artboard so we can actually create a loop. What I'm doing right here is like the stroke animation is gonna go to the time loop, and the time loop is gonna bring it back to the stroke animation. It's gonna be a complete motion. Don't worry about it, you will see it now. Let's take a look at the animation now. I'm gonna select the animation and I'm gonna click it, and after I click it, you can see that now has that animation in the stroke. I think it's really awesome, and I hope you can use it in your own app designs and projects. Let's go with the second new feature, which is new view options for Adobe XD mobile apps. Preview prototypes using XD mobile app, iOS and Android, and scale them to fit the height and width of any screen. Before this update, when you used to check your prototype in your phone, you used to have this resizing that Adobe XD used to do, and I didn't know why, so you never had an exact view of how your app would look in a phone. Luckily, they already fixed it now, and I think it's gonna be really useful when you're doing the prototypes of your designs. Let's go with the third feature, which is the CC library improvements. Now you can share design systems, work with assets between apps, and get more from Creative Cloud libraries with key bug fixes and performance enhancements. This just less buggy Creative Cloud libraries. And that brings us to the end of the video. If you have any questions about these new features in Adobe XD, just put it in the comments below and I will try my best to help you. If you feel like you learned something new and you want more content about Adobe XD, just give it a thumbs up. That will help me a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.